Hello and welcome to your first tutorial on CSS. CSS is an abbreviation of Cascading Style Sheets. It is the code we use to style our web page. It's not exactly a programming language and it's not a markup language either. It is a style sheet language. It more or less lets you apply styles selectively to elements in HTML documents. So in CSS we have this rule set. The P is our selector, which is basically an element. So the P is our element, it is the selector. It is the HTML element name at the start of the rule set. It selects the element or elements to be styled, in this case our P element. To style a different element, just change the selector. This part here is called the declaration. It is a single rule, like in our case color red, specifying which of the element's properties you want to style. This color part is called the property. It's something like an attribute, but it's also completely different. It's basically the styling of a given HTML element. Color is a property of the P element. And just like we have values, we have property values in CSS. So after the colon, we have the property value. It chooses one out of many possible appearances for a given property, like the values of color. Some important things that we should know is that each rule set, apart from the selector, must be wrapped in curly braces or curly brackets, whatever you call them. Within each declaration, you must use a colon to separate the property from its values. So within each rule set, you must use a semicolon to separate each property from the next one. So there are three ways to insert CSS: external style sheet, internal style sheet, inline style sheet. External and internal are written in the head section, and inline is written inside an HTML element. So let's start off with the inline style sheet. To use inline styles, you use the style attribute in the relevant tag. So let's just write a simple P tag and let's write some text. So for example, I'm a big pink, for example, and let's give our text a bold, so strong tag. So I'm going to write strong here and let's close it. Paragraph, and let's close our P tag and let's save, and let me just make my window a little bit smaller. And let's save it and refresh, and we can see that I just have this simple text and we only have strong bold. So next, what we can do is we can add a style attribute to our P element. So what we're going to do is we're going to type style equals sign, 2 quotation marks, and I'm going to write color and a colon, and as I've mentioned in my text, pink, I'll just write pink, and I'll insert a semicolon and I'll type in a size change up, so font line size colon, and I want it to be a little bit big, so 50 pixels. And let's save this, refresh our page, and now as you can see I have a big pink strong paragraph. So this is the inline way of using CSS, and as you can see it's in our P tag. So as I told you before, there's three ways to insert CSS. Let's do this same thing with the external style. So we do this by basically typing in the link tag in the head section. So this is our head section, it's where the title is, and we're going to type in a link tag and we're going to write rel, which is basically relationship, so it specifies the relationship between the current document and the linked document, so style sheet in our case. And we're going to type in an equal sign, 2 quotation marks, and let's type in style sheet, and let's also write href, and let's give it a CSS file name, so for example file.css, which doesn't exist just yet. And we're gonna write type equals sign, 2 quotation marks, and I'm going to write text/CSS. So this is the type of our file. And what we can do next is we can go to our desktop and let's right click, go to new and click on text document, and this will create a new text document. And let's change its name to file.css, which is the file name that we inserted in our link tag. Just click yes, right click on it and edit it with Notepad. And here it is, it's just a blank file. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this part. So color pink, font size and 50 pixels. Copy, and I'll paste that over here. And what we need to do is we need to add in our P element. So we're going to type in P, curly braces, and let's close our curly braces. And let's go back here and delete this, as we don't need it. And as you can see, we literally have no CSS in this file. We did it through this link tag. So just to summarize a little bit, an inline style loses many of the advantages of style sheets by mixing content with presentation. And the external is ideal when the style is applied to many pages. You can change the look of an entire website by changing one file. So let's continue and let's work with the internal style sheet. An internal style sheet should be used when a single document has a unique style. So what we're going to do is in the head section, we're going to type in a style tag. So let's type in style and let's close our style tag and we make some space in between. And what we're going to do is we're going to type in body and a curly brace. And let's close our curly brace. And let's start off with changing our background color. So what we do is in this body area, we're going to type in background. And we're going to add in a line and we're going to write color. And let's add in a colon. Let's say I want this color to be linen, which is basically just a little bit off of white. It's like a beigey white color. And I'm going to add in a semicolon as well. And this is our property, if you remember, and this is our property value. So let's save and let's refresh our page. And as you can see, we have our linen background. So next up, let's insert an image on our web page. And so let's add a background image. So what we're going to do is we're going to go down one line and we're going to type in background, line and image. And we're going to type in a colon and we're going to type URL and just normal brackets, and in between we're going to write a single quotation mark. And let's go to our folder. We should have a CSS folder right now, and I'll choose this picture right here and its name is css4.png. Minimize, and in here I'll type in css4.png and we add in a semicolon here. And now let's save this, refresh our page, and here we have our page filled with Wi-Fi signs. So let's type in background, repeat, and we can give it 3 values, but right now I don't want it to be repeated at all, so I'm going to write no repeat, semicolon, and let's save and refresh our page. And as you can see, we only have it once in the top left corner. Let's say I want a lot of these Wi-Fi pictures to go either horizontal or vertical. I can type in repeat line Y, so this will be vertical, and as you can see it goes down. And if I type in an X, this will go horizontally. Here we go. But right now let's just keep it at no repeat. Here we go. So as you can see, it's just a small picture right at the top left corner. And let's say I want it to spread about on my whole page. What I'll do is I'll type in a background size property and I'll give its value cover and a semicolon as well. And let's save this, and now we shall see that it spreads all over my web page, and it's not really in good quality, that's why it looks really bad. So next let's write some text in our body section. So let's go down here to this section. So let's type in text and let's give it a BR tag and let's close it as well. This is a way of closing it, by the way. And let's duplicate it a couple times and let's save and refresh. And as we can see, we have our text here and it doesn't fit this page, so the scroller is added. So the picture also doesn't fit on my page, so scroller is added. And as you can see, the picture also got bigger. So to fix this, we need to type in here background attachment. So type in background attachment and a colon, and let's type in fixed semicolon, and let's save this and refresh. And as you can see, when I now scroll down, my picture won't move at all, and it actually looks nice on my web page. So let's talk about the starting position of a background image. By default, a background image is placed at the top left corner of an element. So to fix this, we have to have no repeat, and we need to get rid of the background size cover. So let's not delete it, and let's just add in comments. So these are basically a slash, and so we add in an asterisk, a slash, an asterisk, and a space, and we do the same thing here, just the other way around to close it up. And so this basically makes the property unusable. It sort of disables it, and it's called a comment. So we just commented on background size cover. So after this property, let's type in background position colon, and let's type in top right. And we have lots of values for background position, which we will get to in a little while. So let's save this and refresh our page, and now as you can see, we have it at the top right of our web page. And so we can change the values to left top, left center, right, left bottom, right top, and center center, and there's many more. So for now, let's just keep it at center center, and let's save, refresh, and here we go. Here is our picture. So there is essentially a way to do this with just one line. So what we gotta do is we need to comment on nearly everything in this. So let's delete these comments and let's put them here and close it down here, and in our declaration let's just write background colon. And now what we have to do is we just have to list these, so the values. So the first thing is linen, so we type in linen, and then we're going to type in URL, brackets, single quotation marks, and our file name. So as you can see, we're just basically copying everything. And next is no repeats. After this, fixed, and after it comes center center, so type in center center, and we need to have a semicolon as well. And let's save, refresh, and we can see that nothing changes, and that's because of this. And we can also delete this, so I can show you that it really does work. Save, refresh, and as you can see, nothing changed. So at the start of the video, we talked about the different styles of inserting CSS. So let's do the same thing with inline style. So in the body tag, let's write style equals sign, 2 quotation marks, and let's copy this part. So next up, let's do the same thing with inline style. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to our body tag, and in it we're going to write the style attribute equals sign and 2 quotation marks. What we need to do now is we need to copy this. We need to copy the background property with its values and paste it inside of here, and we can delete this semicolon. So we can delete this now, we don't really need it. And I can delete the style tags as well. And let's save, refresh, and you can see that we have the same result as we did the same thing just with the inline style. So let's change the background color to, let's say, green, just to check if it really does work, and we can see that it really does. So let's keep it at pink, and here we go. You can see that it works perfectly fine. So lastly, let's just change it to external style. So in the head tag, we're gonna write a link tag, and we're gonna write the same thing just like we did before. rel equals sign, 2 quotation marks, style sheet, and a href attribute, and let's name this one css1.css, and let's give it a type as well, which is type /text/css. And let's go to our desktop just like we did before. Right click, new text document, and let's name it css1.css, and right click, edit with notepad. And what we need to do now is we need to copy this, copy, paste, and since it was in the element body, we need to write body, curly bracket, and let's close our curly bracket. And let's go back to our CSS1 file, and we can just delete this now. And as you can see, there is literally no CSS in this file. We did it all through the link tag, and we inserted our css1.css file, which is this, which will bring us to this web page. So that was it for today. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time.